Baldwin Hills Crenshaw Plaza is a shopping mall located in Baldwin Hills, California that opened in 1947. Were you a kid, teenager, adult, parent, or grandparent living in Southern California and would frequent those malls in your area? Were you a mall rat like me where you spent your formative years people watching, socializing, or shopping at those iconic malls? Let's take a stroll down memory lane and relive those moments of yesteryears. So let's take a deep dive into the history of that mall in your neighborhood. Please leave a comment or a memory of this mall and stay tuned until the end. I want to see if you were paying attention to my video. Thanks. The Broadway Crenshaw Center was the first post-World War II open-air retail complex in the state of California. It was one of the first regional shopping centers in the United States built specifically for cars. Developer group Trousdale and Associates acquired 65 acres of Baldwin's land, who envisioned a shopping center like no other, one that consumers could drive to, especially since no one lived in the Baldwin Hills or Crenshaw neighborhoods just yet. The Greater Los Angeles First Regional Class suburban shopping hub was originally developed as two separate retail centers, straddling the Baldwin Hills and Crenshaw Manor districts. The adjacent complexes occupied a total of 54 acres, located 5 miles southwest of downtown. A section of the land parcel had been used for the Sunset Fields golf course. A 5-level, 266,000 Los Angeles-based May Company California was the first shopping center structure built. The building was known as May's Crenshaw. An official dedication was held on October 10, 1947. Across the avenue was a $6 million, 5-level, 220,000 square foot Los Angeles-based The Broadway, which opened on November 21, 1947. It would be known as the Crenshaw Center. Loading was done below ground via an underground service tunnel stretching the length of the property. The Crenshaw Center covered an area of 550,000 square feet on 35 acres with 13 acres of parking space for 7,000 cars per day along Santa Barbara Avenue, which is now MLK Boulevard. South of the Broadway was Crenshaw Center, a 10-store strip complex that included Lee's Qualicraft Shoes, Lerner Shops, Children's Department Store, and a 2-level, 48,000 square foot FW Woolworths 5 and Dime. The south end of the strip was anchored by a 16,000 square foot Al Rexall Drug. This store was dedicated with a 3-day grand opening that commenced on August 20th, 1948. The festivities featured a block party with music provided by Jimmy Dorsey's orchestra. Appearances were also made by film stars Ann Miller, Roddy McDowell, and Peter Lawford. A 7-tenant strip of stores, known as the Crenshaw District, was built on the north side of the May Company. The plaza also had a Richmond Brothers Men's, Rose Shoes, Grayson's, and 2 5 and Dimes, a 2-level J.J. Newberry, and a 2-level S.H. Kress. These stores were dedicated during 1948 and also in 1949. Santa Barbara Plaza, a 3rd store strip, ran along the south side of Santa Barbara Avenue. Security First National Bank began business on December 12, 1947. A 45,000 square foot Vaughn's Market welcomed first shoppers on January 30th, 1948, and Barker Brothers Furniture opened its doors on November 27, 1948, with Savon's Drugs being dedicated on April 2nd, 1949. A futuristic mobile gas lubricatorium, filling station, car wash, and auto repair garage was built as a separate building of Crenshaw Center. This facility opened on November 27, 1948. Customers having work done on their cars could ride a free shuttle bus to and from the west side of the Broadway store. The shopping facility was serviced by a dual-lane, 2/5 mile long truck tunnel, which was accessed by two portals. This was the first retail hub in the nation with an underground freight delivery system. By late 1949, the Crenshaw Center and the Crenshaw District complexes encompassed over 550,000 leasable square feet. Eventually, they would be operated collectively as the Crenshaw Center. Storefronts were built against the sidewalks along Crenshaw Boulevard and Santa Barbara Avenue, with 13 acres of parking situated in the rear. The parking lot and front design had not yet become the American shopping center standard. A 22,000 square foot Silverwoods opened on April 8, 1949, and within the first 3 years, the retail locations generated an annual revenue of $40 million. And by 1952, the Crenshaw Center had a total of 50 stores and over 9 acres of parking. Between 1950 and 1963, Santa Barbara Plaza was expanded with store buildings eventually wrapping around Santa Barbara Avenue, Santa Rosalia Drive, Marlton Avenue, and Buckingham Road block. More retail stores were added to the complex, including a Desmond's department store. A bridge was built across Santa Barbara Avenue at the time to the north to the May Company building. The entire 7-acre block became part of the mall property. Although the mall was successful for 2 decades, Crenshaw Center had become run down. Between 1972 and 1977, retail sales at the Crenshaw Center declined 50%, and the perfect storm occurred. The grand opening of the nearby Fox Hills Culver City Mall, that opened mere miles away in the mid-1970s, encouraged those with capital to spend outside of their neighborhoods. And with the influx of residents moving to Crenshaw from the low-income East Side neighborhood, meant there was less capital to maintain the retail development. By the mid-70s, the economic growth of the mall dried up. In 1984, a major renovation was proposed. Redevelopment was stymied by difficulties with financing and the loss of federal funding. Moreover, the viability of the new regional class shopping mall at the site was questioned by developers, retailers, and local residents. Eventually, the controversial project got underway. The bulk of the 1940s vintage structures were torn down. May Company, the Broadway, International House of Pancakes, and the Santa Barbara Plaza were left standing. Ground was broken on October 19, 1986, with the construction underway by May of 1987. A 2-level, fully enclosed mall was built along the west side of the Broadway store. Its upper floor extended over West Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard, the name of Santa Barbara Avenue post-1983, and connected with the May Company building on the north side of the street. The complex included a 2-level, 141,000 square foot Sears and encompassed 850,000 leasable square feet with space for 100 stores and services. The interior was done in a trendy Art Deco fashion with pastel colors, skylights, and tropical plantings. An official grand opening was held for the $120 million facility on November 4, 1988. The dedication was attended by Mayor Tom Bradley, Kenneth Hahn, and developer Alexander Hagan. 30 stores opened along with the mall. By November 1989, there were a total of 65 stores in operation. In January of 1993, the May Company closed. It reopened as a Robinson's May. The Northridge earthquake on January 17, 1994, caused minor damage to the Baldwin Hills Crenshaw Plaza. However, its Robinson's May was damaged, and the store was closed until June 6, 1994. Peripheral structures were added to the mall site in the 1990s. A 43,000 square foot Lucky Store supermarket opened in 1991. The nation's first Magic Johnson Theater megaplex, the Crenshaw 12, made its debut on June 30, 1995. It was actually reconfigured with 15 screens. In November of 1996, the Broadway closed. It reopened and rebranded as Macy's, but less than 3 years later, on January 10, 1999, Macy's closed. In mid-1999, Lucky's Supermarket became an Albertsons after being purchased by the grocer, and on January 22, 2003, Walmart opened its first 3-level store in the building. The Baldwin Hills Crenshaw Plaza was sold to Encino-based Hager Pacific Properties in April of 2003. The complex was resold in February of 2006, with Chicago-based Capri Capital Investors becoming the new owner. That same year, on September 9, 2006, the Robinsons May closed. It reopened as a rebranded Macy's. A $30 million renovation of the Crenshaw Mall got underway in late 2010. The Magic Johnson Multiplex, which had been closed in June, was given a major makeover. Stadium seating, 3D screens, and new decor were installed. The venue reopened as the Rave Baldwin Hills Crenshaw Plaza 15 plus Extreme on June 28, 2011. The mall was also given an interior and exterior remodeling, which included a facelift for Macy's, as well as an installation of a new modern and larger dining court on the first level and a live performance area. They also redesigned the theme Baldwin Hills Crenshaw Bridge to a glass see-through bridge overlooking Crenshaw Boulevard and Martin Luther King Boulevard. Post and Beam and Buffalo Wings restaurants and a freestanding Staples joined the tenant list. The remodeled mall was rededicated in April of 2012. In October of 2011, a vehicle with 2 adult female occupants crashed through the entrance of the Baldwin Hills Crenshaw Plaza Mall and came to a stop dangling 20 feet over the edge of a 2-story balcony. On January 17, 2016, Walmart closed. Meanwhile, in June of 2018, the Los Angeles City Council gave initial approval to a controversial plan to redevelop the shopping hub into more of a mixed-use facility. In March of 2019, a man ran through the mall armed with a foot-long kitchen knife. When he wouldn't drop the knife, 2 LAPD officers began shooting at the man. After he fell to the ground and tried to get up, still gripping the knife, each officer sent one more bullet his way. It was determined that the officers violated police policy. In February of 2020, Sears closed. In April of 2020, CIM Group agreed to buy the mall for more than $100 million, with plans to convert the former Sears and Walmart into offices to drive more foot traffic into the remaining retail stores, but the deal was canceled in June of that year. In 2021, Heritage Development Group purchased the mall for about $111 million. They also bought the Macy's department store building in a separate transaction of more than $30 million, which gave Heritage control of the entire mall. In March of 2023, Macy's closed, leaving the mall with no traditional anchors left. Heritage filed an application to proceed with Phase 1 of the Baldwin Hills Crenshaw Plaza project. Plans call for construction of a pair of 8-story, 89-foot-tall buildings featuring 636 studio, 1- and 2-bedroom dwellings, above approximately 58,000 square feet of ground floor commercial space, most of which would be dedicated to a grocery store. Parking for just over 1,400 cars would be provided in subterranean and podium levels. Today, the two-level, 870,000 square foot mall has no traditional anchors left, but still has over 100 stores inside the mall. Congratulations, you made it this far into the video.
When I find you.
Pop quiz, hot shot.
So let's see how close you were paying attention to my video. So how many anchor stores closed in this mall? So if your answer is 7, give yourself a hand. You were paying attention. Thanks for watching. Thank you for watching. If you like this content, and if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Thanks.